Good morning. My task today is to talk to you about the rebranding aspects of UTK's decision to discontinue the Lady Vols brand for all women's sports except basketball. As I think most of you know, I wrote in my Knoxville News Sentinel full-page Easter Sunday editorial that I thought this was a regrettable decision that needs to be reversed before lasting damage is done to UT's overall branding strategy and their public image. This is a brand that is not dying. Brands that are dying deserve to be discontinued. This is far from that. The Lady Vols brand, by all reasonable marketing measures, is a global powerhouse, and it represents all that is good in women's college athletics. Why someone would want to discontinue this brand escapes me as a business professional. But let me delve into this just in a little more detail. Exactly why is this such a bad business decision? Well, for those of us that study and work in business, virtually all strategic decisions made by senior executives, at least those that work in well-managed organizations, focus on improving three critical measures that collectively gauge the health of the enterprise. So the things you have to look for are, does this decision lower our cost of doing business? Does it increase our sales and profits? And does it improve our brand equity with our target consumers? Those are the three measures that you're always looking for. And if you look at your decision in the context, does this help me or hurt me in each of those areas, it helps you decide in a more objective sense than before whether or not this is the right thing to do or not. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to use a Lady Vols softball analogy here. If you look at UT's decision within those three criteria, it strikes out swinging on all three measures. It's not even a close call. A quick review indicates that the cost savings, if there are any, would indeed be modest, and that the costs, and as of July the 1st, UT will still retain two brands, not one. So in the short term, their operating costs actually increase because they have to cover the cost to make the transition from the Lady Vol brand for 9 of their women's sports to the Power T. Somebody's got to pay that bill. So this isn't a cost saver, this is a cost maker. So that kind of knocks that down. Now let's move to the second point. If there really is a cost savings idea here, or there is evidence of that, if there's a sound rationale behind it, let's see the business case. Show us the numbers. Okay? We're reasonable people. You know, if there truly is a business case behind this, then most reasonable people would try to find a way to back it and back the move and move forward with it. I suspect, though, that the business case is not there, or they would have shown it to us by now. Otherwise, why take such a public drumming that grows louder by the day? Meanwhile, the elimination of the brand will actually cost UT sales and profits by reducing the number of stock-keeping units available for sale and the level of consumer spending on Lady Vols merchandise. Now, those that purchase Lady Vol tickets and merchandise are a different clientele from the other UT sports audiences that they serve. There's very little crossover between the men's sports and the women. There is some, but it's more like the 80-20 rule. About 80% of the business that's generated from the women's sale of tickets and merchandise is a unique clientele. They don't spend money in the male sports arena. So you're putting that entire franchise essentially at risk. That's not a smart business decision. And if you look at this a little further, or delve into it a little further, the marketing of women's sports apparel in particular is a really unique challenge. To achieve market success in sports apparel, it needs to fit, it needs to flatter, and it needs to be fashion forward. Even the NFL, that last bastion of male dominance, if you will, in the sports world, they cannot sell a man's jersey for a woman to wear. And they figured out that, in fact, it's really smart not to try. Instead of trying to sell a man's jersey to a woman, if you put together the right package in this thing, that it fits and it flatters and it's fashion forward, not only can you sell this woman a jersey and her daughters, But when you change it slightly next year to keep up with the latest fashion trends, you can sell it again and again and again and again. So it's not one purchase in a lifetime. It may be 30 purchases in a lifetime, which opens up and expands an entire new market. UT's marketing strategy could certainly benefit from this marketing truth. I'll just put it that way. And millions of free marketing expressions that are delivered by those that wear Lady Vols merchandise is truly priceless in building global brand awareness and propensity for trying the brand. You're literally a walking billboard when you have this clothing on. And it's free marketing exposure. You paid for the shirt, but you're walking around advertising it, and the thousands of people that see you every day note it. Those are marketing impressions, and over time they build up like water on a rock, and eventually they break through and you become a consumer without you even realizing that you've done it or why you did it. It's simply an image that stays in your mind, and the more you see it, the more likely you are to consume it. Now I want to talk about brand equity, probably the most important element that I'm going to touch on today. UT's accomplished a rare feat. With one decision, they have managed to infuriate literally every Lady Vol alumni that proudly wore the uniform and competed at the highest level, both in athletics and in academics, and serving afterwards as positive role models for young women everywhere. Now let's think about this a minute. Lady Vol alumni view the Lady Vol brand in the rarest of categories. It's a beloved brand for life. It's self-expressive. It's who they are. This brand is literally built into their lives. As such, I think UT fails to grasp the deep emotional attachment that these women have to this brand. And what they need to understand most of all, it's not the logo, it's the legacy. That's what's so important. If you talk with enough of these folks, and we have strong evidence that we presented today that show that we have had significant conversations and received signatures from, 22,000, 23,000? 23,000 women or consumers. Yeah, excuse me, men too. I misspoke, I'm sorry. Yeah. So anyway, but that's a lot of data points. That's enough to more than fill up Thompson Bowling Arena. That's a pretty good sized crowd. Now, if you look at these Lady Vol alumni though, and these women, they are the brand. It's not the merchandise. They wear it proudly as they stride confidently into their future, but these are the women that were forged by a lifetime of friendships made, valuable lessons learned, and precious memories acquired on the field of play. When they take away their brand, you are in effect denying their very existence, and you wonder why they're upset. I'm amazed they haven't marched on the building with torches in hand. Let me just put it politely though. This is not where you want to be with your consumer base. Okay, I'll state the obvious. So what I'm saying here is this is a bad decision. And it's made worse by UTK's stubborn unwillingness to admit and to correct their mistake. Okay, you say it's a bad business decision. Well, as Sharon mentioned earlier, you try to work within the system and you try to say, oh, what can we do about this? What can we do to correct it? Well, in the real world, when senior management makes a mistake in strategy, and they all do occasionally, it's not enough to point out the error of their ways. To effect real change, we need to offer a better alternative to work positively within the system. Now, fortunately, there is a very easy solution to this problem. We simply need to adopt a banner marketing strategy, which for UTK is the Power T, supported by two mega brands, the Vols and the Lady Vols. The solution is that simple. Good examples of well-managed companies that follow this strategy abound. I have a list of them that I could go through, but I think I'll just give you the top line. These include the 20 top global companies with a combined market capitalization of over $5 trillion for the year ending 2014. That's 5 with a T, not a B. Okay? 5,202 billion is the precise number. Now that's a lot of market cap. So what do these companies know that the Dave, Jimmy, and Joe show failed to understand? The three amigos. Okay? Well, it's simply this. Building a global franchise is hard work, but the rewards are well worth it, the effort. In each of these cases, these companies have succeeded in the marketplace by coalescing their resources under one banner, supported by multiple brands, positioned to meet the diverse needs of their consumers. Each product stands on its own, delivering tailored benefits to please and delight target consumers. But each product is a proud member of the company's family of brands. The concept is just that simple. Now, I wish I could take personal credit for thinking this up, but this actually was originally developed by McKinsey & Company some years ago when they first came out with the Think Global, Act Local. Okay? And this is how you do that. You build a global banner and you have individual brands that meet the tailored needs of your customers wherever they may be. Okay? So I wish I could take credit, but to be honest, I cannot. And with the top 20 companies in the world doing it, it's hardly an original idea. Now, this strategy, though, can be very easily accomplished at UT. We know it works. Until recently, it was in fact successful for over 40 years. So all we're asking them to do is return to their original path and take us back to greatness. Now, in closing, let me just say this. UT should return to this strategy, and they need to do it quickly. And here's why. Otherwise, they're going to disenfranchise their female consumers, irreparably eroding years of priceless brand equity, earned by the blood, sweat, and tears of the pioneering women that bravely built this brand. And it's a brand franchise that virtually every university in the world would love to possess. So, in closing, let me just say this. I'm Walt Williams, and from a rebranding perspective, I say this is a pretty easy call. Tell the three amigos, Dave, Jimmy, and Joe, that they need to reverse this regrettable decision, call Nike, and bring back the Lady Vols brand.